I'm going to jump right into our next speaker, Marcus Sheridan. So Marcus, I actually haven't heard Marcus speak in person before. So Derek Coburn, who's here before, raised his hand. He has a group called Cadre in DC, and it's basically about 100 amazing professionals in this group. I hate to call it a networking group. It's an incredible community of awesome people. Joey Coleman is one of the members of Cadre, and we had Joey speak on stage and did phenomenal last year. They're like, next year you have to get Marcus Sheridan. And I'm like, I don't know who Marcus Sheridan is, but I've heard from 5, 6, 7 different people that you have to get Marcus Sheridan. So don't know what to expect. I've heard some of his stuff on YouTube, but really look forward to having here. So ladies and gentlemen, actually, hold on. We got to get the systems right. We got a video for you.
Desperate to turn things around after the recession, Marcus Sheridan turned to blogging and transformed his struggling business into the industry leader in his category. With the help of his marketing strategies, River Pools and Spas has grown to one of the larger fiberglass pool installers in the United States. The success he achieved with the company drove him to start Sales Lion, a marketing and sales consulting company which focuses on helping organizations develop a culture of content and inbound marketing. Now living in Washington, Marcus travels around the world speaking and coaching those organizations on creating successful marketing. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Marcus Sheridan.
Yes, indeed. All right, I'm ready to rock this place out. Sully, where are you at, man? Well done, my friend. Cameron, thank you as well. That was sweet. I am going to be with you today because I believe in this thing that we call social speaking. It's an experience, right? And we're all a part of it. And man, this is something's gonna. We ready to rock it? We got it? That's all right. Yeah, we are fly because we're going to talk about something here right at the beginning, which is a quote that we're going to see here in a second, which is, it's the small and simple things that bring about the great changes, isn't it? And as we all sit here over these next couple of days, I promise you that it's going to be the little things that keep coming up where the miracles are wrought every single time. It's not these great complex things, it's the little things. And that's what we're going to talk about and we're going to see again and again and again. And that's certainly what happened with my company. We like big words. You like big words, don't you, Craig? Because you're a big guy. That's right. We all use big words. Your niche, your industry, you use big words. I'm in the marketing space, and you're all kind of in marketing because you're in business. You use big words. Here's the big words that we use, at least right now, right? So social media marketing, content marketing, inbound marketing, blogging. Lots of big words. You've all heard them, right? So I have a question for you. Let's say we took all these words away, right? Let's just say we eliminate them from our vernacular. What the heck are we really trying to say here? Anybody? What are we trying to say? What are we trying to do? You take away all these fancy words. What are we trying to do? Come on. What's creation? Good, Isaac. Keep going. Come on. Get customers. Keep going. But what are we trying to say? Somebody says content marketing. What does that mean? Anybody? Sharing expertise. I like it. Let's keep going. Here's the thing. We make this stuff too complicated, and that's one of the biggest problems with business. I would argue this. These 4 words will change your life. If you get them, and really everything we hear with these new tools and these new platforms comes down to this. Do you hear your customers and your prospects' problems more than anybody else? Do you think like they do? Do you feel like they do? Do you really hear what they're trying to say? Do you communicate in the way that they get you, that they understand you, or are you talking above them? You get them, don't you, Daryl? Do you see yourself as a teacher? And are you more helpful at solving their problems than anybody else in the world? I'm telling you, the companies that understand this and don't use the fancy words, and they see marketing as these 4 things, they're doing it and they're crushing it. You see me, I used to be a pool guy, smartest person in the room. Anybody know what type of in-ground pool this is, by the way? They actually have these in Canada. Yes, this is a fiberglass swimming pool, right? Yeah, you all knew that. Now you do. Okay, it's a fiberglass swimming pool. And see, my company started in 2001. I used to be a pool guy. Today, I'm just a silent partner with this company. But things were going okay for us up until a particular date and number. Smartest person in the room because you didn't know the last one. What's the date? What's the number? Anybody? Tony, do you know it? Okay, that is the financial crisis. Well done. And that was a really bad day for pool guys, wasn't it? Because generally speaking, how do people get the money to buy pools? Yes, through financing. And so after that day, this is what happened. We lost 5 deposits on people that had said, going into the winter, we're going to get a pool from you. That was $250,000 in business over the course of 48 hours. For some of you, that's not a lot of money. For a pool guy that's struggling, it's a lot of money. And then over the coming months, things started to get worse. By January of 2009, this is exactly where we were. We were literally hanging over the cliff. We went through a period, I kid you not, 3 straight weeks, we were overdrawn our bank account. I didn't know what I was going to do. And every consultant I talked to said, Marcus, you should go out of business. But here's the problem. I couldn't do it because I was going to lose my home, my 2 business partners were going to lose their home, and my 15 employees were going to lose their jobs. That was not acceptable. It was not going to happen. And so as I started to read things, especially about this thing that we call the internet, I kept thinking, listen, communicate, teach, and help. And basically I said this, if we online answer every question that we've ever been asked from a prospect or a customer, we might just be successful and save the business. That's how I heard it. That's how I read it. All these fancy words. We embraced a very simple philosophy that's changed my life, and it's changed the lives of businesses now all over the world. Very simple 4 words. They ask, you answer. In other words, if you have ever been asked a question by a prospect or a customer, it's your moral obligation to address it on your website. And if you don't, you are essentially telling that person to go away, that they're not important to you. Or better stated, you're embracing what I call ostrich marketing. Anybody? An ostrich, when it has a problem, what does it do, Billy?
What does the ostrich do?
Yeah, it's on the screen, so you can't miss it, brother. An ostrich, when it has a problem, what does it do? Help the man out. It buries its head in the sand, and why does it do that? What's your name?
Sid.
Sid, why does it do that? It thinks, what will happen with the problem?
Go away.
It'll go away, but does it ever go away? It never goes away, does it? Now, how does this apply to you? It applies in a lot of ways, but here's one way that applies to you. Have you ever gotten a question from a prospect that you said, you know what, we probably shouldn't address that on the website. Let's just wait until we're face to face. Happens all the time, doesn't it, Ken? Happens all the time. But here's the thing, none of us like to be controlled. Not as customers, not as customers. I'm here to tell you the ostrich does not win. In fact, I'm here to ask you, are you willing to truly answer the hard questions that your potential customers are asking? This is the great divide. When we talk about all these fancy phrases, this is the great divide. So let's look at it. By show of hands, everybody participate. How many of you have ever researched online before how much something costs? Raise your hand. That's right. If you're not raising your hand, you're dead. Okay, good. So we're all researching these things. What's the emotion that you experience? What's the emotion that you experience when you cannot find how much something costs? Go ahead and tell me. What's the emotion? Frustration. I knew you were going to say that. That's the F word of the internet. I've heard it from thousands of people all over the world. Frustration. It's what everybody says. I ask you, what gives you the right to feel frustrated? What gives you the right? Not getting the information, Marcus. What gives you the right? Keep going quickly. What gives you the right? What gives you the right to feel frustrated? What gives you the right? Craig, what gives you the right to feel frustrated in that moment?
I don't think anything does. I don't think you should be frustrated.
But everybody does. When you can't find what you're looking for online, you don't see the answer, you get frustrated. What gives you the right, Jade, to feel that?
No idea.
Somebody, Ken.
Because
Because you want to give them their money. Isn't that right, Brad? And you know that they know the answer to your question. And because you know they know the answer to your question, you now feel like they are hiding or cheating. That's right. And the moment you feel like somebody's hiding something from you, what happens?
trust.
Trust is gone. I knew you were going to say T word. Most powerful word of the day, trust. Trust, trust, trust. Everything that we're talking about is trust. And so here's the thing. How many of you have a traditional business where you don't sell things online? Raise your hand. In other words, you don't have e-commerce, you don't sell a product online, you have a traditional business, but you do have a website. Raise your hand, quickly. Come on, raise your hand. Okay, good. Now, of those that just raised your hand, how many of you talk a lot on your website about cost and price? Raise your hand again. So less than 1/3 just raised their hand. This is very interesting. Because 60 seconds ago, we all said, and it's unanimous, every single audience, I feel very frustrated when they don't give me the answers I'm looking for. And then 60 seconds after that, we said, but I am different. The rules don't apply to me. So my question is, why do we say that? It's very simple. I know your answers. You're worried about certain things. You're worried about giving it away to the competition. You're worried about scaring customers away, when in reality, what's scaring customers away today is if you're not honest, if you're not transparent. Because that is the great divide. By the way, how much does the fiberglass pool cost? Anybody? How much does the fiberglass pool cost? Quickly. Yeah, good guess. The answer, of course, which is the same for you, which is the same for everybody in here, is 2 words. The answer is It depends. That's exactly right. But because we embrace this philosophy of they ask, you answer, we wrote an article, How Much Does the Fiberglass Pool Cost? And when we wrote that article, something really interesting happened. We explained, you know what, buying a fiberglass pool is kind of like buying a car. There's a lot of options. There's a lot of accessories. But the answer is, it depends. But because we said that, what do you think search engines like Google did? What did they do? What did they do? They said, finally, somebody's willing to address this dumb question that people keep asking me all day long. That's what the search engines did. And of course, as soon as we did that, people started finding the site. And because they started finding the site, we started to get lots of visitors. Now, this is pretty interesting. This is pretty interesting. If you look at this, these are the #1 keywords that generated traffic to our website from 2009 to 2012. The red ones come from price-related questions. In other words, 13,000 people typed in fiberglass pool prices into Google. They found that one little article, How Much Does a Fiberglass Pool Cost? 30 of them filled out a form and said, I want a quote from you. A couple hundred appointments came off of that one single article. Quick question. If that article is not written, do those appointments ever occur? Yes or no? Why not? Why not? Because they never found us in the first place. But they did find us because we did write the article. They did come to the site. They did fill out a form, and we did go out to their house. And because of that, we know that this one single article from that day to now has made us over $2.5 million in sales. $2.5 million that we would not have had we not been willing to say, it depends. See, you all hear questions and you think you have to give exact answers. That is not the point. The point is you cannot hide. You've got to be willing to address. Make sense, Michael? All right, here's another question for you. What's this movie right here? You know it, don't you, big man? What's the movie? Go ahead. Rocky IV. Who are the two actors, Isaac? And Lundgren, that's right. Maybe the two greatest actors ever to share a single stage. Yes, that's exactly right. So why am I showing you this? Because we love to compare things online. You do it, I do it, we all love to compare things. People used to ask me all the time, okay, Marcus, be honest. What's the difference between a fiberglass pool and a concrete pool? Now, 5 years ago, how many pool guys had addressed that question on their website? What's the difference between a concrete pool and a fiberglass pool? How many? 0, of course, and why? Why was the answer? Why didn't they do it? They were afraid of what? They were afraid of the elephant in the room. The other guy, what they had. And we said, no, we're never going to be afraid of the elephant again. In fact, if there's an elephant, we're going to bring it forward and we're going to say, this is the elephant in the room, which is exactly what you should do. And so we wrote about it. And we compared in an article, fiberglass versus concrete versus vinyl liner pools. How many times have you been asked to compare things in your business? How many times has somebody said, so which one would you choose if you were me? And how many of those questions are answered right now on your website? I would challenge you to listen better and to react to what these people want to know. Not what you think, but what they want to know, because they're the ultimate guide. And because we did that, if you go online today and if you research anything about pools and pools comparisons, of course you're going to read what we had to say. Let's just do one more. The best. I love this one. I love this one. Have you ever been asked before, so if we don't use your company, who would you recommend? You've been asked that, haven't you? Love that question because you're thinking, great, here we go. Now I got to lie. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. Let's say that I was in Richmond, Virginia back in the day when I was still selling pools, okay? And somebody would say to me, Marcus, man, we really like you, but if we don't use you, who would you recommend? Now remember, what's the 4-word philosophy? They ask, you answer. So I said, daggone, I got this question, I better answer it too. So I wrote an article. Now this is the first one of a kind that I did. It's who are the best pool builders in Richmond, Virginia? Reviews/ratings. And it's a list of 5 of the best pool builders in Richmond. Now, am I on that list of 5? You say yes. Does anybody say no? No, and why no? Because as soon as I put myself on a list of best of anything, what happens? All credibility is gone, which goes back to that trust word. Besides, if they're reading this article, where are they? They're on my site. I don't have to say I'm awesome. They already figured it out. And by the way, that's how the world works, doesn't it? You can't say that your business is awesome. You can't state it. It's just understood. Either you're good or you're not. That's how it works. Stop saying on your website that you're awesome. Just stop. Because we'll figure it out on our own. We'll sense it. We'll feel it. But because we did those things, of course, if you go online today and you search best pool builders, Richmond, Virginia, of course you're going to find river pools. But let's go deeper than that. Let's say you went online and you searched Reviews, Playmore Pools, who is a competitor, Richmond, Virginia. Once you get past a sponsored search that nobody reads anyway, who are you going to find? Once again, us. Now, ain't that cool, Scott? Because today, Riverpool shows up whenever anybody is researching our competitors. True story. Had a lady come to us a couple years ago. She said, Marcus, the most interesting thing happened. I was this close to signing a contract with Playmore Pools, and I decided, well, before I sign this contract, I should probably research them online. And so she said, as I was researching online, I stumbled across this article you all had written. I said, my goodness, these guys are so honest, I should probably call them too. And of course, you know what happened, don't you? Because otherwise, it wouldn't be a good story. That one single article led to $150,000 in sales that year. One single article. We live by a philosophy that every single person we come in contact, every prospect already knows who all of our competitors are. We act like it's free knowledge for the world. We hide nothing. And because we're a company in glass house, everything has changed. And so much that if you look at this, you can't see it very well. This is where we were in 2009 when we were on the brink. You see that red? That's pay-per-click. The green is organic traffic. That's free stuff that you get from Google. So we started that philosophy of they ask, we answer, and the traffic started to grow. And then it went down in the off season. And it started to grow, then it went down, and started to grow, and started to grow. This month, we're going to hit 300,000 visitors just this month to the website. Today, River Pools is the most trafficked swimming pool website in the world. And it's not even close. And the reason why it's not even close is because we made a really, really simple decision about 5 years ago. If anybody has ever asked a question, we're going to answer it honestly and transparently, and we're going to stop hiding and never be the ostrich again. I shared this story, and I've shared this story now literally all over the world. But one time I was in Dallas, Texas at a conference, and after I was done with what I had to say, this reporter came up to me, and he said, man, this was really interesting. I think we'd like to do a story on this whole idea of answer their questions. I said, sure, that's fine. Didn't realize I was going to talk to that reporter for 90 minutes a couple days later. And then a few days after that, they sent a photographer down to my swimming pool company. And then 5 days after that, on the cover of the small business section of the New York Times appeared this article right here. Now, there's two ironies to this article. The first one is, my goodness, that shirt makes me look fat. Fellas, I'm telling you, if you ever get on the cover of the New York Times, don't wear the stripes left to right, up and down. Second thing, look at the title. What's the title say? A revolutionary marketing strategy. Answer, customers, questions. Well, daggum, that's some revolutionary junk. What's interesting is this became the #1 shared and emailed story for the Times for 3 straight days. Everybody wanted to talk about it in the business space. It was very, very interesting. They reran the article that Saturday in the blog. And over the next month, I got about 1,000 emails from people who said to me, and they said 2 things. My goodness, this was simple. I said, yes, that's how it works. It's the simple things. Second thing people said to me is, you gave me permission to do what I've always known we should be doing. That's what I've done for you this morning. You already know that you should be doing these things. I'm challenging you to be the best teacher in the world at what you do. Listen better than anybody else. Hear how they say it, think it, and feel it. Communicate in a way that they actually get it. Don't try to sound smart. Seek for communion. If you do those things, I can tell you things are going to change. My life is totally different than what it was 5 years ago. 5 years ago, on a personal note, I can literally remember driving home one night with tears rolling down my face because my kids had already gone to sleep again. And I missed again that day. And it's because my only solution before is work harder, not work smarter, but work harder. And so once we changed that philosophy in my life and in the business, everything changed. Today I can tell you this. The young lady on the left, I used to miss all of her sporting events. Today, I'm her softball coach, and I have been for 3 years. That young man right there, who I almost completely whiffed early on in his childhood. I've fished more with him in the last 2 years than I did in the previous 10. And those 2 little girls in the middle, they know who their dad is, and they know he's going to come home. People say to me, Marcus, why are you so passionate about this marketing stuff? I'm passionate because there's a deeper reason. You're not here for marketing advice or business advice. You're here for time, and you want more of it. You want the freedom to do that which you love and that which you value. I'm here to tell you that if you look at these things in these next couple of days and just say, it's about marketing, it's about culture. No, it's much more than that. It truly is about the time that you have in your life, the time to do that which you want to do to have more peace and to have more happiness. Be the best teacher in the world. Listen better than anyone. Everything will change. Thank you very much.